Every single dollar in your pocket right now is actually being rented from a bank, and you are paying for the privilege of holding it. That is the terrifying reality of the cage we are currently living in. We walk around thinking we own our money, but the current monetary system is designed so that every unit of currency in existence belongs to someone else first. There is literally no way for you, as an individual, to create new money for yourself. You are forced to compete in a brutal game of musical chairs for a share of a supply that is controlled by a tiny group of elites. These gatekeepers have the exclusive right to create, control, and own the nation's credit. Every dollar is borrowed. Every dollar is rented. And because of this, we are trapped in a cycle of artificial scarcity that limits our human potential. But imagine for a second that we just flip the script. There is a concept called the financial party, and their take on money is going to sound completely insane until you actually sit with it, and then it starts to make too much sense. The core belief is simple. The money supply shouldn't be controlled by the government or the banks. It should be created automatically by the people themselves. And I don't mean printing cash in your basement. I mean that money should be created based on your willingness to make a productive contribution to society. Think about what money actually is. It's supposed to be a tool. It should be nothing more than a receipt for productive labor that you have already provided. And what is the one universal constant we all have? It's not gold. It's not silver. It's not crypto. It's time. Contributions of labor are most easily measured in hours. Hours are stable. An hour in 1920 is the same length as an hour today. The number of hours in a day is immune to inflation. You can't print more time. Human greed cannot manipulate the rotation of the earth. Economic magic cannot stretch a day into 30 hours. Time is the only real standard of value we have. So money should be denominated in hours. If we based money solely on productive contributions already made, the amount of money in circulation would always equal the exact value of goods and services produced. Think about how wild that is. No more inflation, no more deflation, just perfect balance. No longer would we have this artificial scarcity of money stopping us from working. Right now, you might want to work, and a factory might want to hire you, but if the money isn't there, you sit at home and the factory sits empty. That is a waste of human life. In this new system, you wouldn't need the permission of an elite group of money controllers to unlock your potential. For decades, people have argued over three things. Who creates money? What backs it? How much do we need? The answers are actually right in front of us. Neither the government nor the banks should create it. You should create it. Every time you do something useful for society, money is created. What backs it? Not gold bars in a vault. Your sweat, your brain, your time. Productive human labor is the only thing with real value. And how much money should there be? Exactly as much as people are willing to work. It's automatic. Let's look at how messy our current system is. Right now, an employer has to go out and fight to extract money from others in the marketplace before they can even pay you. They have to sell stuff or borrow cash just to make payroll. If money gets tight or the economy crashes, the employer can't get that money from others. So what happens? They have two choices. They beg a bank for a loan or they fire you. That is ridiculous. The factory is there, the machinery works, you are ready to work. But because some invisible number in a bank computer says no, society loses your productivity and you lose your income. It is a ridiculous waste of resources and a completely unnecessary cause of human suffering. Now look at the proposed system. The dependency on money from others is gone, deleted. When you show up for work, the work you do creates the means to pay you. The employer doesn't need a loan. Their role is simply to issue the receipt, the money, that acknowledges the hours you put in. The act of working creates the money. The total production value always equals the new money created. And here is the coolest part, the life cycle of this money. In our current system, money hoards and accumulates and collects interest. In this system, when you take your pay, your receipts, and spend them to buy groceries or a haircut, that money is extinguished. It's gone. It doesn't recirculate. It doesn't need to, because the grocer and the barber create their own money by working. The cycle is short and simple. Created by you when you produce, destroyed by you when you consume. This eliminates the entire concept of debt. It turns interest into an ugly relic of a dark past. We wouldn't need to borrow money to live. By simply choosing to work, you create the money necessary to enjoy life freely. No usury, no exploitation. Now this is where it gets deep. This is where we have to talk about economic equality. At some point, usually when we get a bit older or see something tragic, we realize that our time on earth is limited. It's running out. From that moment on, discussing the value of a person's time becomes meaningless because you realize your time is actually priceless. Once you accept that your life has infinite value to you, you have to admit that other people's lives are of infinite value to them. If the value of an individual's life is infinite, then the value of each hour of that life is also infinite. Therefore, the relative value of every single person's time must be equal. I know people get really heated about this. We have different talents. Some people are stronger, smarter, or faster. But if we are all honestly trying to contribute our best to society, don't we all deserve to enjoy the beauty of life equally? The biggest argument against this is always the same. Why would I become a doctor if I get paid the same as a janitor? People argue that someone who studies for years deserves a higher reward. But think about it. If you are paid to be educated, which you would be because studying is productive labor, and you gain knowledge that belongs to society, isn't the gift of that knowledge a reward in itself? If you are born with superior natural gifts, that is luck. You didn't choose your IQ before you were born. You didn't choose your physical strength in the womb. We all just have to make the best of what we are given. So how is it reasonable to devalue another human being just because they weren't born with the same attributes as you? That was beyond their control. Our time on earth is literally all we have to give. What more can a person offer to society than their full-time labor? If someone gives their full time, they deserve the highest standard of living there is. We all need love. We all need respect. We all have families. Who has the right to judge that one person's hour is worth 10 times more than another person's hour? People panic and say this will destroy motivation. They think that without the fear of poverty, nobody will do the hard jobs. In our current economic jungle, fear is definitely a motivator. We run because we are scared of starving. But income alone isn't why people develop their talents. Most people, once they have enough to be comfortable, stop caring about hoarding more cash. They want work that is interesting. They want to do something that matters. People who are truly gifted rarely turn away from their gifts. A brilliant artist or a genius scientist isn't doing it for the paycheck. They are driven by a need to express themselves. It is who they are. If they try to ignore it, they feel miserable. Albert Einstein would not have quit physics to work in a coffee shop just because the pay was the same. He was obsessed with the universe. John Lennon wouldn't have been stocking shelves at Walmart even if it paid the same as being a rock star. He had to make music. There is a small percentage of people who suffer from a fever of wealth. They have an insatiable thirst for money and control. It's an ego swelling that distorts reality. Our current system glorifies this illness. It treats greed like a virtue. But this fever is just a symptom of a deeper disorder, perpetual financial insecurity. We are all so scared of running out of money that we hoard it. To believe that true economic equality would stop human progress is confusing the symptom with the cause. When human labor itself creates the money, financial insecurity vanishes. The fear of poverty is deleted from the human experience. Imagine a world where every child is free, right from the start, to focus on what interests them most. Not what pays the best, but what they are best at. When the resources of society are available to everyone to help them reach their potential, Most people will jump at the chance to give their best back to the world. We are holding on to a system that rents us our own lives. We are renting our economy from a chosen few. It doesn't have to be this way. We have the technology and the ability to track hours. We have the ability to create a system where money is a servant of humanity, not the master. It requires a massive shift in how we view value. It requires us to admit that my hour is not worth more than your hour because we are both dying and we are both living and we are both doing our best. The cage of capitalism is only locked because we believe we need their key. But if we realize that we are the ones who create the value, we can just walk out. The power to create money belongs to the people who do the work. It belongs to you.